performance includes topics of sexuality, harm, and abuse. Please take deep breaths and care for yourself as you can.
This is a story about sex. More specifically, this is a story about my experience with sex as someone who has been sexually abused. I was sexually abused as a child and assaulted many times as an adult. It's a calcified trauma that lives deep within my body and has been softened through years of therapy and inner work. I've kept journals that have given me space to process my thoughts outside of therapy sessions. What has come to life from these journals has been a reflection of my pain, something that I've been able to read back and realize how hard it has been. I've also experienced a revolution within myself. It's softened my heart and given me a deep reverence for life, my mind, and my body. Many years ago, I wrote a book, finally admitting my biggest secret. I was sexually abused. I wrote that book with the intention of being the only person in the world who would ever read it. I didn't plan to get it published nor create more than one handwritten copy. And towards the end of that writing process, my brain was a jumbled mess, and I found myself often doodling in a catatonic state. I pushed myself to finish that book and was in so much pain. Upon eventual completion, I read my book back to myself with no intention to make edits, just to experience my raw words about my own sexual abuse. I felt broken, but aware. Reading back the big secret I swore I would take to my grave was chilling. The story of the sexual abuse I endured lived inside of my body, and I had never talked about it to anyone, nor even wanted to admit it. I was scared of being judged. I still am. Writing it helped it get out of my soul and onto paper. And eventually, that book made its way to Europe, courtesy of my sister who offered to find it a home, assuring me that it ended up somewhere meaningful and symbolic. So technically, this is my second attempt at expressing my secret. This time in front of all of you. Indulging and organizing my thoughts, trying to experience them objectively, was a practice in making love to myself. I had to caress my body and fuck myself when I wanted to go deeper. I had to come all over myself and softly bask in the afterglow when reality was imminent. I had to get the towel and get cleaned up and move on with my life. Writing this story has been the best sex I've ever had. Welcome to my SEXPERIENCE. I've learned through many emotional recovery spaces that secrets make us sick. So I have one more secret left. I really want to have sex and enjoy it. I'm terrified of engaging in any sort of sexuality. And I've abstained from sexuality for most of my adult life. I've experienced abuse and the subsequent trauma for over 3 decades, and I'm ready to release it. The greatest challenge in preventing me from enjoying sex has been the shame. The feeling of shame is the worst discomfort I feel. It feels like life and energy gets drained from my body, and I feel empty and nauseous from the lack of equilibrium. Shame can take me from horny to hollow within a moment. To heal through sexual trauma has been the greatest achievement of my life. It's not a definitive process where I'm healed, all is well, and I'm complete. I know that the reality of my pain means that it will evolve, and I, in turn, have to continue evolving with it. I don't remember a life before or without sexual abuse. It's been a constant. I've known about sex longer than I've known how to write. It was the first subject forced upon me in the school of life. It impacts the way I walk, the way I speak, the way I interact. I'm always vigilant, always trembling. I'm still so scared of someone harming my body. I've learned how to bypass that physical response and put on the mask of someone who is calm and maintained. In reality, I just want to cry. My heart still hurts. My intention is to share a guide to living life with fullness and joy, even when that means embracing your pain and suffering. This story will not rid anyone of the scars that we embody, but can help us appreciate the texture that we have because of them. Despite the fading memories of what I have experienced, my emotions still express themselves through me as if they were fresh. I push through those moments into a new era of liberty and justice for myself.